Hello, everyone. Welcome to Friends Occasionally Not Disagreeing, the Fun Pod. This is Cody, and we are here with, oh my gosh, one, two, three, four, five hosts today. I think that might actually tie a record for us on one episode here, so that's pretty awesome. Five is appropriate, as we'll talk about why here in just a second. I just wanted to briefly blurb if you're new to us. This is episode 197, and our podcast typically talks about music and movies and TV and video games, and sometimes we delve into stranger topics like tabletop RPGs or true crime or cryptozoology, supernatural, or other things we might talk about as well. So come along and join us every Monday or wherever you podcast. And now, let us talk to our hosts. So we got five in the house here, as mentioned here. Let's see what they've been up to recently. Would anyone like to go first on this? Anybody want to plug anything here?
I mean, I'll jump in. I don't really have anything specific to plug, but one thing I wanted to mention is since we are recording this toward the beginning of November and spooky season has ended or is continuing, Alexis and I recently rewatched the 2015, I think, movie The Witch by Robert Eggers. And I think that is a perfect film. It is exactly the kind of scary movie that I love. It is 100% tension and dread and almost 0% jump scares. But even though it does not have anything really jumping out to give you a sudden fright, it manages to be just truly terrifying throughout. It's also only like 90 minutes long, which makes it even more perfect. But if you've never seen the movie The Witch, I cannot recommend it highly enough.
It's really spooky.
That's Joe, by the way.
Hello, I'm Joe. I love The Witch.
And Latvia.
And my people in Latvia.
There it is. All right, Alexis, he mentioned you. Why don't you go next? We got special guest host Alexis on this one.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, hi, I'm Alexis. I'm Joe's wife and person. Yeah. Hi. That's all
What
I
have you
got.
been up to?
We did what did we do? We went camping last night. It was very cold. We got snowed on in a
Oh my
tent.
gosh.
And it was a first time for both of us, and hopefully not the last time that
I have never
I
felt
can drag
so cold in
him
my life.
camping. But it was a lot of fun. And you guys will probably hear lots of bitching and moaning about it in your discussions with Joe. So, yep.
I meant to ask, did you guys like go to a campground or do you just pick a spot in the woods?
We went to Muskegon State Park Campground.
Oh, okay.
Which is lovely. Check it out.
Yeah, it is
sometime. It's
lovely.
great.
I had a nice hike. It was fun overall, but it was very cold.
It was cold.
I once went camping with a girlfriend's family in high school. So they had their tent, and then I had my little individual tent so that there were no shenanigans. And it rained hard all night, and the water just got in my tent like right away. And so I didn't sleep a single second that night. I just laid there in the cold, wet,
Aw.
waiting for morning to come. That really sucked.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on camping. Hi, this is Dave. And my recommendation is the show Pluribus.
Ooh.
It just started on Apple TV, and it's incredible. It's written and directed by Vince Gilligan, who, of course, made Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul. It stars Rhea Seehorn, who is the highlight of Better Call Saul. But it's not set within that world. It's got a lot more of a sci-fi premise, and kind of like the movie Joe was describing, is really big on tension without being actual like horror scary. I really don't want to say anything else because it's just got a really good hook, really good mystery to it, and I highly, highly recommend everyone check it out. There's 2 episodes currently up on Apple TV. It's called Pluribus, and more coming every week.
Nice.
All right, and I guess that leaves me, Dan. While we're talking about snow and plugs, I'd like to bring up Coors, specifically Coors Banquet, which slogan is apparently "Start Your Legacy." I was looking at while everyone else was doing introduction, so very nice there. What I've been up to, I started watching Sandman season 2. Finally picking up on Neil Gaiman's like big magnum opus comic and seeing the Netflix implementation of that. It's pretty good so far.
Controversy acknowledged.
It's a great time to start reading Neil Gaiman. Good job. Yeah.
Yeah, only wait until we shun people and then I start reading their works. Well, while I'm on comic recommendations, I'll also throw out the HBO show The Watchmen, or Watchmen with no the, is another great series that I really enjoy watching, and I recommended to Dave, and he said he would watch, even though, like, and we agreed after I watched Severance, he would watch it, and he still hasn't. So maybe if I recommend it again here, and if we do a podcast episode on it sometime in the future,
I would
actually freaking watch
I
it.
would do that. I have not watched that yet, but I
There you
have been
go.
wanting to since it came out. Like I have heard that it's absolutely incredible.
Dan always acts like we had some pact sealed in blood when it was
How could you
nothing.
I
betray
still have
him,
the
Dave?
scars. But
Love
that's what
that.
I'm up to.
Awesome. And again, I'm Cody, and I guess I will mention a couple little things I've been up to here. One, I guess I'll just say real briefly, I spent yesterday very coldly going out and exploring some new graveyards in the Midwest, which I go around and take pictures at famous people's gravestones. I think I hit 4 all in Wisconsin yesterday, and did not rain on me, luckily, even though it rained every time I got in the car. When I was in the actual cemeteries walking, it did not rain the whole day, which I'm not sure how that worked, but it was very cold, but it was fun. In honor of Dan's head over there, I went to the grave of Pabst Blue Ribbon, Pabst. Saw his
Ooh.
grave yesterday, and also went to Blatz, which is an even more perhaps localized low-class beer. Schlitz apparently was at the grave at one point, but they moved
I was
him.
going to
And
ask.
if I had gone one more graveyard north, which I ran out of time for, Miller was up there though, so that would have been a big one for us as well. But it was cool. I got a couple of war heroes and a couple of baseball Hall of Famers and some other stuff. So I
Noted
always
beer fan
like
Cody
to do that.
visiting
That's
all
right.
these graves.
That's
You didn't
right.
hit like John Colt 45 or Joe Mickey's or anything like that?
I have to research where they're at. I'll
Okay.
have to see. But anyway. All right, sweetness. All right, well, this is going to be a fun podcast. We're actually going to be doing 2 episodes here. So this will be episode 1 of 2 as we are doing another of our music podcasts. And I've mentioned in the past, I love doing these music podcasts because it really focus what I listen to personally for a couple weeks, which is kind of nice. And it's a lot of effort to get through these if you actually spend the time to do all the songs and the albums and multiple times and then kind of reevaluate
Sure
and go
did
through
it.
these things. And it's hard to get the host to agree to this sometimes. So I had to pull out the big gun this time and trick them by saying we were going to do Ben Folds this time. So that seems to have brought all the boys to the yard, much like the milkshake. So yes, also before we get started, I want to briefly shout out our sponsor for this episode, Salesforce, which has made Dave go to a hotel on the opposite coast here and allowed him to have some time to get in an episode with us as well here. So episode 197, it's been 196 since we've seen Dave. So there we go. That's not true statistic.
Dave, you want to throw in the Salesforce slogan?
Yeah.
No, I do not.
Okay.
Not force your sales? Okay.
Salesforce. We like
Dave and I
Coors
have done
Banquet.
2 podcasts together, so
I
That's true.
know.
This is the second one with you two.
good to see you,
That's awesome.
Dave. Yeah.
Yeah, you too, Alexis.
I was mentioning to Joe, this is my first with Alexis, actually. So.
When Alexis opened her Zoom, her background was still Tom Cruise from the last one we did together.
There we go. Okay, well, let's start off here. So we're talking about Ben Folds, and I kind of came up with a way to split the albums into 2 podcasts here. So this first one, we're specifically looking at the 4 Ben Folds 5 albums, and then also 2 collaboration albums that he did as well. Our second podcast will be strictly on Ben Folds solo albums. And I wanted to start off this first one here by just asking you guys, not talking about any live experiences you've had with Ben Fold. When did you first kind of get into this music? Or maybe it was the first song or 2 you recall kind of catching your ear for this particular musician? Open to anybody.
Do we just all want to say Brick?
Is the answer for anyone not Brick?
What's Brick?
It's that song. I mean, I don't know what the song's about because it's, very cryptic and metaphorical. But it was a big hit in the 1990s, the last century. It was Ben Folds 5. I believe it was from their 1997 question mark album, whatever it ever meant.
Yeah.
It was on MTV back when that
Yeah,
was a thing that showed music videos.
it's a
Yeah,
really
that was
good
the big
one.
hit for sure. And I obviously heard it on the radio, etc. And then my sister went on a camping trip with some friends. We're bringing it back to camping. And apparently one of them had whatever
An
never ate,
abortion
and they listened and they
Worst camping
listened
trip
to it.
ever.
or
They,
best.
they listened to that album over and over again on the trip, and then when she came back, she's like, "This is really good. You got to listen to it." And that was the beginning for me.
Interesting.
I'll be honest, Brick was my first introduction to Ben Folds, and the last I really had him on my radar for over 20 years until the year of our Lord 2017.
Wow.
But we're not talking about live experiences, so I guess I will say that was my real only point of reference for recorded Ben Folds for quite a while.
Wait. You're saying you heard Brick and then you didn't hear any Ben Folds until 2017?
I mean, if we're being technical, like I saw the movie Over the Hedge at some point that he did the soundtrack for, or at least a few songs for. Like I had heard other Ben Folds,
Okay.
but it wasn't something that I really like registered or like intentionally listened to
You
until
see, it was the
2017.
early years of our courtship, and Joe
Yes.
started listening to Ben Folds because
Uh,
I was into Ben Folds, I believe is how it
Yes.
happened.
okay.
But
But
we will have to talk more
we'll
about
save that
that when we talk
later.
about Ben Folds Live,
I
not to be
see.
confused with Ben Folds 5.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
How about you, Dan?
Well, obviously Brick. I mean, like for a while, I thought it was the verb freshman, like a different version of it.
Shout
But
out
obviously,
to the Verve Pipe, by the way, not
there
just
you
the
go.
Verve. Grand Rapids Legends.
Exactly. And then I heard a couple of the songs, but really what Ben Folds means to me is the a cappella album he did with the colleges.
Absolutely.
That was like I'm going to say it, but I'm going to regret it. The back door for me into Ben Folds, because really like
Speaking of
listening to
back
that,
doors, our sponsor Hims is back this
I
week.
knew it. I knew it was coming. Listening to that album and actually going back and listening to the original versions is the way I really got into him.
That's awesome.
That's a
Yeah,
great
How about
that's
album.
you, Alexis?
Yeah, Brick. It was really good for like a 13-year-old to be hearing a guy's version of how abortion happens
hmm.
for people. Yeah,
But you, I
13-year-old
mean,
woman
you were a big fan when we
of
met. So
abortion.
like
Yeah.
well, I mean, yes, but also of Ben Folds. I mean,
Yes, it
what
was.
what did your relationship after Brick look like with Ben Folds?
It kind of escalated into a friend of mine in, I guess, in college, and my brothers were both strangely into Ben Folds, which they're kind of metalheads, so
Yeah, that's
that was
weird. I
like
can't
weird.
picture that.
And I would listen to a lot of their CDs. I would steal them,
Hmm.
and I think Whatever Never Amen was where that kind of took off, but Brick is where it started. Yeah.
Yep. I was sure I had heard Brick on the radio multiple times. I wasn't positive I had seen the music video. I just checked it out, and it's really just like the band performing. I thought there'd be more to it than that. So I guess I do remember the video now that I went back and watched it because I was pretty sure I hadn't seen it, but definitely so. Yeah, I think maybe it was just like the singles that I heard early, but mine's kind of similar to what Joe said, I think, in a way, because I think it was Brick and then maybe Song for the Dumped and then Army and then nothing for a very long time. So I guess pretty similar story there on that. Okay, let's see. That's a little controversial to start out with here, but that's what we got down for the notes here for the first episode. Does anybody want to say what their favorite album is? Which doesn't really ruin anything for the way we have
No.
this formatted, I guess I will say too, for our listeners. If you have listened to our musical podcasts in the past, we're using kind of the newer format we've done on the last couple, where we are forcing ourselves to choose a song off the album as the best off the album rather than a top 10 list or whatever, which does spread out the love a little bit more across the discography, which is kind of nice. Makes it a little harder, I think, too. So,
I will say I have two, which funnily enough, one is Ben Folds 5 and one is Ben Folds solo. But I feel like in my mind, Whatever and Ever Amen and Rockin' the Suburbs are kind of neck and neck for favorite Ben Folds output. I think they are both about as close as you can get to being perfect albums. Very different albums, which is also interesting. I mean, Ben Folds 5 had more of kind of a punk rock sensibility going on, although they occasionally had the odd ballad like Brick. And then Rockin' the Suburbs, which I didn't even realize, honestly, until we were doing this, was his first solo album, which feels weird to me,
Yeah.
is kind of an interesting exploration of like getting a little bit older and having a kid and considering settling down a little bit in a suburban setting. But I think both albums have like far more hits than misses. There's maybe like one or two tracks on each of them that are not like my absolute favorites, but both are just packed with incredible songs.
I would have to agree with Rockin' the Suburbs is my favorite. Also, just like it's got back-to-back hits, but it was released on September 11th, 2001,
I always forget about
which is
that.
like
Oh,
wild to me. And like somehow still people, I don't know, just I have no association with that other than it's just a album full of bangers.
Didn't he
It's a good one.
like I feel like he played a show like that day and people showed up for it and then like after that like no one showed up for the rest of his tour or something like that.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, I imagine it was
Yeah.
rough. Yeah.
well, tough. I actually quite agree. Rockin' the Suburbs. If I had to pick one album, that's the top for me.
All right, and I'm going to throw up University a cappella, which I'll admit isn't actually him, but I think it is a great example of other bands taking his songs and kind of like putting slight twists on it. I really enjoyed it.
I love that album.
It
Yeah,
is really good. I always forget about that one.
we're not. It's not. It didn't even make our list of albums to discuss, but
I'm gonna
it's
say what? That's not an album that's on our list, so it doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's a good point though you guys are bringing up, which is he has a bit of a, I don't want to use the word convoluted, but his discography is messy at minimum if you're picking
It's
out like what his
complex.
albums
very,
are.
very complex. Yeah,
Some
absolutely.
EPs and LPs and then some collaborations and some lives and some compilations and you're like, ugh.
Hey, credit to Cody for organizing the prep work before
Yes.
this, because like
Yeah.
that must have been some weird Venn diagram you were
Yeah,
going
I
through.
honestly your breakdown of like the agenda for these episodes was very helpful.
Yeah. Super helpful.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad to hear that. My end, I guess I'd probably agree with Joe again. I hate to keep saying that, but whatever, never, amen. Probably Ben Folds 5, and then Rocking the Suburbs, which honestly, peek behind the curtain here. This is part of the reason I split it the way I split it because I wanted Rocking the Suburbs to kick off that second episode. If I'm being honest, which I figured people might have the most to argue or say about that album. So I think that's a good one to kick off episode 2 with. I will also shout out Way Too Normal as well as one I really enjoy, and I'll talk about why that was when we get down to that one. But
I
honestly, it's
agree.
Slayer. Slayer's the best album.
Heck yeah.
And with that, we will continue on here. All right. I didn't bother to do any biographical stuff to share at the beginning of this about Ben Folds or anything like that, about his history or anything. If anybody has any of that they want to throw in as we go through, feel
No.
free. I did find one quote here. He just said, I guess, describing how he composes songs. What I do is write something that feels right. It's a minefield of dead ends, just syllables, rhymes, a happy sound over unhappy lyrics. You maneuver yourself around and you get caught in the maze of how do I make this feel right? Then it feels right. Basically, I ran in the maze and then I throw it out there to other people and they can feel what they want to out of it. So I guess we shall see what we feel out of it.
I will say he has a memoir, A Dream About Lightning Bugs, and
It's
it's
quite good.
a good read. It's enjoyable, and that gives you really his history as told by him, and I recommend it.
Awesome.
Alexis and I have 2 autographed copies of that book.
All right, all
because
right.
That's not
we,
impressive.
we
Who's it
got to
autographed
attend
by?
a live reading by Ben Folds himself. His crotch was
okay.
like 5 feet away from my face. It was amazing.
Well,
But maybe we'll talk about that more in the next episode.
It's
Yeah.
like
6
pheromone,
feet long,
pheromone
so it was
levels.
perfect.
That's. Did you feel like you were Benny? Let's move on.
All
right.
I did.
Just to be clear,
go
he's
ahead.
not a clone of Elton John, right? I just want to make sure.
Joe or Ben Folds?
Yes.
Either, but
Well,
No, but I
okay.
did want, I mean, spoiler alert, since we're going to kind of start by talking about Ben Folds 5. One thing I have always thought was interesting is that speaking of Elton John and also Billy Joel, who is a comparison that gets drawn because they're all piano men, um, I've always thought it's interesting that he has said that his sort of mission statement for Ben Folds 5 specifically was to try to make piano-based rock music where the piano is actually the lead instrument.
Hmm.
Because, like while Elton John and Billy Joel both have some like songs that are pretty rockin', if you really pay attention, there's a lot of guitar going on and like other instruments are kind of like bringing that drive and like bringing that rock feel. So his sort of purpose with Ben Folds 5 was apparently to like have piano be the main like instrument and source of the rocking. And I think they succeeded to a large extent.
So basically,
Yeah,
he just wanted to make a band around November Rain, what you're saying. I love it.
Yes.
it's worth noting to anyone who is maybe not familiar with Ben Folds 5 that there are not five people in the band.
No.
There are
Correct.
three, and it's piano, drums, and bass, which is not a combo that you find commonly.
No.
So it really does have kind of a unique sound just based on that composition.
I mean, I am still waiting for a reunion in which Ben Folds 5 gets back together and are joined by another classic band of the era and combine forces to become Ben Folds 5 for Fighting.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Or meet up with Maroon 5 and do the whole thing, you know?
Anyway, I'm sorry, everyone.
Totally fine.
All right,
Totally fine.
let's get into
I'm a
it.
little
All right, let's
offended
do
you
it,
didn't
guys.
bring up
Let's do
Five
it
Doors
here.
Down, but
So
all right.
we're jumping into albums here. Any general thoughts you have on your term? We kind of did a little order to prevent people from talking over each other too much today. What's your favorite song off that album? Talk about it a little bit, and then if you have any honorable mentions briefly you want to do as well. I guess theoretically we're creating the perfect Ben Folds mixtape with a song off each album. If we don't have a consensus winner, then we have a convoluted scoring system here that we will try to determine the winning song based on people's favorites and honorable mentions. I don't know if that'll even work, but we'll give it a shot. Let's see what we got. So first up, we're going 1995. This is Ben Folds 5's album Ben Folds 5. And we got Dan up first on this one. Dan, you get the honor.
Exciting. I'm actually going to pass. I want to hear someone else's thoughts on this album first.
Are you joking?
No?
Dan, you were picked first for this album.
Man,
Damn
I'll
it,
do
Dan.
it.
I didn't want to be first for like either of my two, so
It's okay. Dan, I'll do it. I'm gonna take it for you. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. My top pick, I'm just gonna go ahead and put myself in here. The Last Polka is
boo.
a great song.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. It's polka-like and ridiculous and theatrical and I like it. It's a good one. That's how I feel about it. So that's my number one. You wanna do like number one and then
Honorable mention.
honorable
Yeah,
mention or what?
anything you have to say about the album on your turn in the rotation, honorable mentions, or just
Yeah.
overall thoughts on the album, whatever you got.
This is like probably not my favorite Ben Folds album. It's really good, but um it's got like two or three songs that I could listen to over and over. Last Polka is definitely one of them, and I actually didn't even know it was from this album until we started doing this. I just was like, oh, that's one of those songs. Um, Honorable mention though has to go to Boxing. Boxing is a great song, and
Hmm.
it's just like the whole song is just kind of Ben Folds beating himself up, and it's like it's boxing, right? We're talking about boxing and Howard Cosell, and like I just think it's a great. I love the line like sometimes I punch myself as hard as I can, yelling "Nobody cares," which is I feel like something I relate to sometimes. So that's how I feel about this first one we're doing here. Last Polka for sure, number one. Boxing is my runner up.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Dan, you want to go next, or you want more people to go before you?
I will go ahead next. So for this album, I think Best Imitation of Myself is my favorite song. I think it kind of follows up on that theme of beating up in yourself or like the imposter syndrome. Like really, I think if imposter syndrome summed up in a song, it's this one. But I'll also give a shout out for Philosophy. So it's another really strong song on this album.
Are those your thoughts?
That's it.
That's what you're saying? Okay, all right. Be sure. All right, we got Joe up next. Joe, what do you got? We got 4 songs already. This is good.
We could be happy underground is not my pick off this album.
You son of a bitch.
Oh, I would agree with Alexis. This is not really my favorite Ben Folds album, but I think it's interesting. I do feel like it's maybe the most punk rock of the Ben Folds 5 albums.
Yeah.
It's got a, it's kind of rawer, and I also feel like a little more immature than the subsequent work. But that's not to say that there are not some good songs on here. My number one song is also The Last Polka. Um, I disagree with Alexis that it's like silly though. I think what I love about it is that the music is kind of dramatic, but I like the lyrics. Like it's kind of about a breakup. I feel like lyrically at least it does feel a little bit more mature than some of the other stuff on the album. And then my honorable mention is Underground, which is just kind of silly, but also I like the message behind it of like being able to find community and like a place in the world amongst the outcasts and misfits. And I feel like that is one of the songs that has kind of become a staple of Ben Folds after this album.
It's got a great intro too.
Yeah, it does. Hand me
Sweet.
my nose ring.
Okay, we got Dave up next.
All right. So for me, yeah, this album feels like a first entry where they haven't quite found their sound yet, but it's still got some good stuff. So while it doesn't rank too highly for me, I still, listened to it a lot back in the day and enjoyed it. For me, the top song, I agree with Dan, Best Imitation of Myself. With honorable mentions, Underground, The Last Polka, I do like. Philosophy, I do like. Boxing, I actually actively dislike. And it's not, I'm sorry, I know it's controversial. My main problem with boxing is that Ben Folds seems to love boxing. Like he'll play that anytime he feels like it, and it's just it feels like a really early effort that he fell in love with that just doesn't do it for me.
That's fair. I also think I love boxing as well, so I think that might be part of it. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like,
hit him.
like boxing back. I too
Yeah.
love boxing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, it's just
Oh,
Oh,
damn.
It's
Got
my
the
my
glove ready.
NMU colored boxing glove
oh, nice.
that I can't get to show up on video.
That's
yeah.
true. That's true.
It's all fair, Dave.
Okay, I think that brings it to me to wrap up this album then. I should point out as well, I'm probably the least logical person to host this episode because I do really enjoy Ben Folds, but I'm willing to bet other people here enjoy this person far more than me, which actually I thought kind of made me more of a neutral host in some ways. So,
Yeah, I like it.
anyway, my honorable mention on this pick goes to Underground as well. I think this is just another fun song, like somebody just mentioned. A lot of fun harmonies in this one. There's a little bit of falsetto singing, piano playing, of course, in many songs is good, and this is one that's the case as well. And a really fun like piano outro in this song, also, which I really enjoyed. Not ranking as an honorable mention for me, but I did just want to shout out Jackson Cannery as like we're a new band. This is our new album. This is track one off of that album. Like, what a fun song to be your first one that people would listen to if they picked that up. It just kind of made me think of how they really sounded different than a lot of people of their time period, especially then. But it didn't quite make an honorable mention to me. My winner is also somebody else had this Philosophy, which I think is just a really fun one. It's like a cool rising with the way he plays the piano, but it still manages to be kind of light and airy sounding. And then what I really like about this is about 3 minutes and 30 seconds in. If you didn't know this band, you'd kind of go from like, oh, knows how to play the piano to like, oh, this guy can play the piano at like 3:30, which is just awesome. So,
There's
um,
that song. Sorry if I can interrupt.
yeah.
On the first Ben Folds live album called Ben Folds Live, he does a version of Philosophy that has even more of like a piano breakdown,
Ooh.
and it's incredible. I really, really love it. When I saw him live the first time, he played that in sound check, and I was like, yes, this is awesome.
That's super fun. All right. Well, close one here, but I guess our top track's gonna go to the last polka on this one as our winner,
Woo!
our
Okay.
recommended song. So I'll have to go back and double check that one because I didn't have that down in my notes. But part of the fun of doing this is we get to find out which ones you guys enjoy the most. So, all right, let's go on. We're moving ahead 2 years here to, I would say, unarguably, probably Ben Fold Five's biggest album, Whatever Never Amen. And we're starting off with Alexis on this one.
Yeah. So, number one song for this is gonna be Song for the Dumped. Um, because you know, I feel like this is like a young Ben Folds or any person who's ever been dumped, just feeling like real angry about it. And he just it's just ridiculous. It's also a jam. Like it's just like he's screaming and like pounding at the piano and there's it's just amazing. Um
That might be like the ultimate delivery on the idea of having the piano be the main instrument in a rock
yes.
song.
Like I don't know how he plays anything after playing this song like physically and also having your piano be in tune like cuz he just like abuses it. So I think I think it's great for that and also just like give me my money back, you bitch. Like I love that. Like yeah, dump me on your front porch. I hate you. You suck. Like I've been there. Yeah, for sure. So I love that song. Number one. And then number two for me would have to be Kate. Because it's delightful. It's just like I want to be Kate too. She plays Wipeout on the drums. The squirrels and the birds
Yeah.
come. Come on. Like they gather around and it's just amazing. Like it's so cute. And it's just like I just love to sing it and I love to hear it. I remember one time I sang it to my friend Kate and she didn't know what I was talking about and thought I was the biggest weirdo on the planet, but that's fine. It's cool. Um, so yeah, those are my two. Kate is so fun. Song for the Dumped is like, you know, how you feel when you're a young person and you don't know what to do with your feelings and you've had your heart broken and I think feel like we've all been there. So that's it for whatever never amen.
Awesome. All right, we got Joe up next. Tell her why she's wrong, Joe.
I mean, I can't disagree with anything she said. Those are both great songs. Like I said, I think this is one of the best Ben Folds albums. It is virtually flawless. Like there are just almost every track on here I feel like is a Ben Folds classic.
All right, those are the songs you picked?
No.
Okay, so you do disagree then. Okay.
I mean, I don't disagree that they're great songs.
No, I'm just
My
kidding. Go ahead.
my top song is one that I know Alexis disagrees with, but damn it, I had to go with it, and that is Smoke.
Yeah, nope.
Love the melodica. I love how different it feels from like especially Ben Folds 5 stuff up to this point. But I also I like the lyrics and the kind of metaphor behind it, where it's like kind of tearing out the pages of the book of like a relationship and burning them and like trying to, forget about someone. I just think it's kind of a beautiful song. Um, and my honorable mention goes to another one of those just like rockin' piano songs, maybe the rockin' piano song in the Ben Folds oeuvre, which is One Angry Dwarf and 200 Solemn Faces. I mean, lyrically, it's pretty ridiculous and funny, but like it just rocks so hard. It's one of those songs that, I'm always kind of disappointed if he doesn't play live because I just want to see him like bust it out and go for it. It's just a lot of fun.
All right, I'm up next, and I agree with Joe. Smoke is the top one here.
Woo!
I love that song. It's got just that beautiful waltz rhythm to it, and it's not just about strictly like a breakup, but it feels just about like the endings of things, in a really beautiful way. So the Smoke is my top one, but not by a lot because there's so much good stuff on this album. I love Brick. It's overplayed, but it's a beautiful song. Um, And then my other honorable mentions are Selfless, Cold, and Composed and Evaporated. I really like those. I like almost everything on that album. Kate is a great one as well. I love that one's got like a really funky time signature to it,
Hmm.
which makes it quite unique.
Love it. Love it.
What?
Okay, who do we got next up here? Oh, it's me. Look at that. Let's see what I got here. Well, I guess I'll start with my winner, which everybody can groan about, but this is the Enter Sandman effect. I did pick Brick in the end off this one. I think it's
Sure.
just mainly because it's always going to be the song I think of first when I think of Ben Folds 5. And just thinking about like again, like this was really some dark subject matter for its time period. I feel like to be like that song on the radio, like that's kind of crazy to think about back in the day, but here we are, mid 90s, and we got this playing on the radio and everybody's singing along, and it's just, I don't know, it's a topic that's still pretty taboo today in some ways, but love that one. Especially like that line in there, we're alone, she's alone, I'm alone. I thought that was a clever line as well. So I have two honorable mentions on this, and I'll say the first one did almost dethrone Brick and Alexis, apologies, but I picked Smoke as my honorable mention on this one as well. Not a song I was overly familiar with. I had heard this album at some point in the past, but just does it just feel like you're like sitting on a gondola in Venice and like somebody's just playing an accordion for you as you're gently kind of going through the watery streets? And
It's a melodica.
it's a really beautiful song.
Does
So.
make me want cheese and wine.
Exactly, exactly. And then I did pick a second honorable on this one as well, which was Song for the Dumped also, which I remember even back in the day was like just so fun to scream along to with lyrics. It's just a really fun rager that throws shade and a black t-shirt right in your face. Or at least you hope you get the black t-shirt back in your face. And then there's the part where they do the like weird wah 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 yowl in the middle of the song. That part's pretty crazy. And then I also like how he meta plays as well when he does the line about needing space, and then he pauses the music as well. I thought that was just kind of clever meta play as well. So those are mine. Dan, what do you got for us on this one?
I'm gonna have to go with you in terms of I'm sure it's a overly played, but Brick, just because it resonates so hard. Like you said, when the time it came out with, where I can remember myself in terms of life, and then also the journey you go on, the story during that.
Oh,
It's just it's so crystallized, and being able to see exactly what was happening. But I also throw an honorable mention for the Battle of Who Could Care Less, as just the pure irony of it, of the lyrics, of the kind of like the back and forth. Also, a special mention in terms of the title of the album is deep in those lyrics. So a fascinating song that I really enjoyed listening to. It was a song that like after coming there for Brick, it was the song I stuck around for on the album. But the entire album's really strong, and that's just the one I that stuck out more.
That is a great song. I
I
agree.
think you can tell we all like it because anytime someone names a song for the first time, we're all like nodding our
Yeah.
heads.
Yeah.
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 Oh yeah, shit, good point, So it's just really good all around.
yeah, totally agree. We technically have a tie even with the ranking system here between Smoke and Brick on this one, so I guess we'll just call it a tie. But yeah, like you were just saying, Dave, I think we have 8 songs listed from this album for our top couple picks off of it. So it definitely speaks to the breadth of how great this is on this one. All right, let's jump forward again. We're going to go another 2 years forward here to the unauthorized biography of Reinhold Messner, 1999, also by Ben Folds 5. And Joe gets to kick us off on this one.
Meh. This is this is not my favorite Ben Folds 5 album, but that's okay. There's still some good songs on it. My top pick off this album is the opening track, which, spoiler alert, may or may not become a running theme as we move forward for some reason. The first track on this album is Narcolepsy. I think it is great as an album opener. It is both beautiful and epic, and I think I mean, even though I kind of shat on this album when I first started talking, I do like that Narcolepsy immediately sets a tone that feels a little bit different than the previous album. It feels a little bit more mature in a way. It feels kind of more sweeping and again epic. And then my honorable mention is a song that I honestly don't know if I had really paid much attention to before, but that is Regrets, which I think sounds unlike pretty much anything else Ben Folds had done before or since. It is also, I'm going to keep using the word epic, but it is an epic song. But as it goes on, it almost reminded me of Pink Floyd. It kind of goes in some weird places, and I appreciated that.
All right, I'm
Awesome.
up next on this one. And I am going to directly contradict what Joe just said because this is my favorite Ben Folds 5 album.
Ooh.
I like this one even better than Whatever and Ever Amen. I think it's an evolution in the right direction. Even though I do love Whatever and Ever Amen. And I got a my quick story with this one, which might explain one of the reasons I love it. When I was in high school, I heard one day a rumor that Ben Folds had died. And I was really sad about that because even though I had only listened to the two albums we'd already discussed, I really liked them, and I was sad that that was the end of that. And then, of course, it turned out to be like completely false. I have no idea where it came from.
Hmm.
But then when this album came out, I like enjoyed it even more because of what the dark
Oh,
timeline that might have
The
been, you know?
near
It's
death of it.
adorable.
Yeah,
Love
yeah.
it.
So I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna I I'm gonna start with the honorable mentions and end with my favorite on this one. I love the song Magic. That's a really, really strong one for me. It was almost my favorite. Narcolepsy is an honorable mention. Uh, for the reasons Joe said. He also tends to do that one when he has like a live orchestra. They'll do a live orchestra version of it, which is phenomenal. Um, I I have Mess as my third honorable mention. I love that song. But for me, and this is going to be, I imagine I'm the only one who's going to have this, but for me, the best one is Don't Change Your Plans. The main reason for that is because at this time, or around this time, um, Emily, who is now my wife, and we were dating, but we were going to school in different states, and so we decided that we were going to break up and not have a long distance relationship. And thankfully, that didn't take. But at the time, that was our plan, and that's the Don't Change Your Plans was like very appropriate to what I was going through at that time. It just met the parallels are very strong, and it's a beautiful song.
oh.
Damn.
All
Who's got to follow that up? God damn it. All right. Okay. Well,
Say Army.
I'm not going to say army.
Thank God.
Narcolepsy. Narcolepsy actually is just my honorable mention, but I'm going to start with that one. So I have that down. Again, just really fun, fairy like piano playing I wrote down here. But again, like 2 minutes in, kind of explodes and then goes crazy till like almost 4 minutes in. And then it kind of brings back down. It's almost like a lullaby with the way it plays out. And it's super fun. Another song I didn't really know too well prior to this exercise. So that was fun. And then my winning track off this, which nobody else probably will have, is Army,
Boo.
which I picked because I really like the breakdown. And also, hot take, I didn't really like this album very much. So nothing else jumped out at me.
Army is one of those songs that Ben Folds fans seem to lose their shit over for some reason. And it's an okay song, but like I just don't get it.
Your dad didn't ask if you were fucking high
Like
enough then. That's the problem.
maybe
Maybe, oh, you know why? Because probably was talking to your brother instead. But that's
that's true. Maybe
okay.
that's a problem. I bet my brother loves that song.
You're right. Yeah, that's me. I don't have too much to say. Not one of my favorite albums that we reviewed here. So, who's up next?
It
Daniel.
would be Dan. So I will also give a special shout out to Narcolepsy because I think that that is also a very interesting way to start the album, and also that like kind of lyrically him stopping partway through in terms of singing. Like it was a really interesting way to portray that, and feels like it really captures that narcolepsy element. I was going to say Army, but apparently Joe is going to crucify me on that, so I'm going to
Oh,
hold
it's
back.
okay. Just say it's fine.
It's an okay song. I don't hate it. I just don't get why
Don't let
people lose
him
their minds
bully
over
you,
it.
Dan. I
Yeah.
live with him. I know what he
Listen, I would
hears
never
when he
bully Dan.
sleeps.
I respect Dan greatly.
I appreciate that. So I'll stand up and say that it's a tie between Army and Jane, actually. I like Jane. I keep thinking about as like a 70s like lounge performance song.
Nice.
Really like a smoky atmosphere, a whole bunch of traveling businessmen. I don't know why. That's just the feel I get from it.
I like it.
Like it. And
Very good.
Alexis gets the last word.
Okay, well, Narcolepsy is my favorite song off this. So I like it because it does feel like kind of a divergence of like Ben Folds, like something new for him. It's grand, I would say, is the word I would choose to describe it. Um, it does feel like you're talking to someone with narcolepsy. And also as a person with like sleep problems. Um, it's just really the idea of narcolepsy is like fascinating to me. So I really like that song. So that's number one. And um, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I like Army. Number two, my number two is
Oh,
Army. Um,
Alexis loves Chick-fil-A.
that's not true. That's not true. We won't. I've never grown a mullet, never worked at Chick-fil-A. Um, I just really like it. It's fun. I don't know, the line about, your dad says you're fucking high. I feel like my dad would say that to me at some point.
I feel like,
Um,
okay, I'm sorry to interrupt again, but I just want to say I'm not here to army shame anyone. It is a fine song. I'm just
uh-huh.
saying I think he has many, many much better songs. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Joe
Well,
just likes
thank
the
you.
Navy a lot better.
Many much better. Thank you. How many English degrees do you have, Joe? Okay. All right. Um, anyway, I really like that song. Also, Mess was on my list as a um whatever, runner up. It's beautiful. So
Nice.
those are mine.
awesome. Okay, well, we definitely got Narcolepsy at number one for that album. Army at number two, though, Joe. Just keep that in mind on there.
Fuck
Oh,
everyone. Wait, I'm
fuck
sorry.
everyone.
You better watch out because I'm going to say fuck.
You better not cry. Okay, we are switching it up quite a bit here. We are jumping ahead 11 years. We have a collaboration here. Ben Folds with Nick Hornsby for the album Lonely Avenue in 2010. So a little bit different here. Dave gets to kick us off.
It's Nick Hornby. There's no S in there, just
Oh,
FYI.
P.S. I have that typed
I was
wrong.
just checking my notes to see
Yeah.
if that was right or not. Okay, Lonely Avenue. I love kicking this one off because I have a lot to say about this one.
Oh boy.
I believe I'm going to start off with controversy that this is the last great Ben Folds album. I love this album more than anything he's done since, and it kind of ends the Ben Folds golden era for me, in my opinion. I have more songs bulleted for this album than any other album that I just couldn't like not mention. I think that the collaboration with Nick Hornby was uh, a fantastic idea. It's phenomenal, and led to some really, really beautiful songs. So I'll go ahead and say my top one is Belinda. I love that song. I love the concept of the song. I think it's executed beautifully. It has such beautiful emotion and sadness to it. Um, From Above is kind of like the opposite of that. From Above gets me going in like a happy way, even though it's not truly a happy song. But I love that song. Levi Johnson's Blues is my next one. I know I'm just naming the songs on the album.
Are you just going to list the entire album?
I'm just going to list the whole album. I'm halfway through my list. But
Jesus
Levi
Christ.
Johnson's Blues, a song about Sarah Palin's son-in-law, it just cracks me up with its content. Picture Window is gorgeous and heartbreaking, and I love it. Claire's Ninth is the same way. And then Password is my last one, because even though it's kind of a dumb concept, it's a dumb concept executed well and in a fun way that I enjoy. I love this album. I love it.
So
But
what was your favorite then?
Belinda is my
Okay.
favorite.
What did
I
you
know
have? What was after Belinda, you said?
From Above.
Okay, and then what was after that?
Then Levi Johnson's Blues.
Okay, you
Should
got
I know? Then Chorus
six? Did you list
19.
six there?
I listed 6 songs on
Okay.
this, and I could keep going. I love this album. All
Wow.
right. I shouldn't have started on this one, but
Oh, that's good. That's fun. I'll pick up. I'm next on this one. I said, not a bad album overall. A lot of catchy songs on here on first listen. This is one I did not know prior to doing this, I will say. Um, however, Dave, raise up your fists. Are you ready? This is a rare
oh,
album that I
Oh, he was prepped for a spit take.
actually liked less the second time I listened to it, which is not a good sign. So,
J'accuse!
yes.
Where's my pitchfork?
I know. However, we got a little overlap here, at least, Dave. I had Levi Johnson's Blues as my second song, my honorable mention. A lot of fun bass and synth and drums in this one. Just kind of sounds different again. The song is kind of bizarro in nature, which I think you kind of hinted at as well. But my winner on this one is going to go finally with me picking something off of this. With Password is what I ended up picking just for the fun wordplay. And I don't know. I suppose there's some kind of message here about knowing so many details about somebody and yet not knowing the important details about somebody is at least what I think this song's supposed to be about. So, but it's kind of fun. And the words that he chooses to spell out in this song too, some of those words I thought were kind of witty picks that he made as well. So that's what I'm going with. Password for me. How about you, Dan?
Excellent. I also had really heard of this album before prepping for this, so a lot of these were like new discoveries for me. I'll give obviously a lot of credit to Password as well. Like that song is great to listen to. But the one for me, the number one standout is Picture Window. It really feels like that is where things get like epic. It honestly, it makes me feel almost like Ben Folds' version of like a Queen song in terms of like it just you bring in the orchestra and it's just huge. So that's the one I was really like, whoa, he did all this.
No wonder I didn't like it.
There you go.
Um,
Okay, Alexis.
yeah, I like this album too, and it wasn't really one I had listened to a lot, and I don't know why. I think I it just slipped by me, but my number one is Levi Johnson Blues. I think listening to it now, it kind of is silly and like fun and makes me feel like, when politics were a little bit simpler. And so that's kind of fun, and ridiculous. And it's also just clever. I like that about that song. Number two for me is A Working Day, the first one on the album. Um, it I think was mentioned he writes a lot about kind of like imposter syndrome, or maybe in this case Nick Hornby did, but they it's a lot of like, I can do this, I'm good at this, I don't suck, like I can do this, and I relate to that. So, and although also there's a lot of like beep boops in it, which I like beep boops. So those are my two.
All right,
I
sweet.
too enjoy beat boops. This is an album that I honestly had not really listened to much of before. I had like heard a couple of the songs because he's played them in concert. And it's weird to me that I had not, because Nick Hornby is maybe one of the best like contemporary authors. He's written some pretty great novels. Um, I do strongly disagree with Dave that this is the last great Ben Folds album. Justice for So There, but we'll get to that briefly. Um, but yeah, I did enjoy kind of revisiting this. My top song, because I am a sap and like to cry at music, is Picture Window.
Man.
I feel like it is beautiful musically and heartbreaking lyrically. It's, ostensibly about someone like struggling with a partner who is suffering some sort of illness in a hospital, but there's still kind of hope that's found there. The chorus of that starts with, you know what hope is? Hope is a bastard, and kind of goes on from there. I
Help
think
me in
just
the
like
bed.
I just love that. I think, obviously the lyrics on this album were written by Nick Hornby, and I think he proves that he has a way with words. But yeah, it just hit me strong in my feels. And then my honorable mention is Levi Johnson's Blues. It's just
Oh,
hilarious. I'm a fucking redneck. I live to hang out with the boys. Something about shooting moose. It's silly, but it's fun, both musically and lyrically. So yeah, those are my picks.
love it. Oh man, we got another tie. What is going on here? Okay, Levi Johnson and Picture Window coming in a tie on that one. I'll have to go back and listen to Picture Window again. Sounds like you guys are pretty high on that one, or maybe you're just
Listen to Belinda too. Nobody else even mentioned it, but
No
it's
one cares
yeah.
about Belinda, Dave.
I'm so done with him naming songs after
You,
some lady's name. I'm done with it.
if you love Belinda so much, why don't you marry her?
So many ladies.
So
Turns
many
out the real magic
ladies.
was the Belinda we were all along.
No.
Aw.
Was Belinda his fourth or fifth wife?
Yeah. Aw, womp womp.
It's gone five, right? Is that
Yes.
Six,
Yeah.
seven?
how many marriages has he had?
Jeez.
He's had 5 marriages and 5 divorces.
Perfect, and he's done now, right?
And he is
Mhm.
currently still paying for one 2016 Honda CRV.
And
That
I'm.
was that was actually part of his last divorce.
Uh-huh.
Do you think he purposely did that just so he could fold on marriage 5 times? Do you think that's what
Uh,
Oh.
I was assuming, but I don't know. He's like, let's
Folds
just keep
5 marriages.
him coming. Marry somebody, and all right.
Well, do you think that, I mean, I don't know if he knows this, but like you can talk to people without marrying them. Like you can be friends with them.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Yeah, you don't have to marry everyone you're boning, Ben
Yeah.
Folds.
That's what I meant.
If
Talking
you
to
marry
them.
Lindsay Kraft, I will stop listening to you. I'm
Okay,
just saying.
anyway,
Anyway,
yeah.
moving on.
Okay, we're jumping ahead 2 years to 2012 for this next one. We have a reformed Ben Folds 5 back for one more album here for us. This is The Sound of the Life and Mind. Oh, snap. I'm up first on this one. Okay, well, notes for the album overall. I said, really appreciate how different this album sounds from some of the past ones. This is probably due to the influence of just him doing solo stuff for a while and then bringing back the Ben Folds 5 concept, I would imagine is probably explaining a lot of that. And I also said, in my opinion, possibly the most diverse album he had since the first one or two to me. So I did enjoy this one. However, I also had a really hard time picking favorite songs off of this album. There were three that kind of kept going back and forth. And I tried to just do a winner and an honorable here. So just for funsies, I picked Draw a Crowd as my top song because I think it's just hilarious. The chorus that he just keeps beating out with the dicks on the wall, I think that's just hilarious. And then the
Cody
honorable
loves beating
mention,
dicks. You heard it here, folks.
I sure do. Love beating them all over the place. This was a tough one for me between two other songs for honorable mention. I went with Do It Anyway, just because it sounds a little bit different than a lot of the songs that we're covering here in this episode and the next one. But it also, we get a little bit of Ben Folds kind of screaming in this one, which you guys probably know from past podcasts. I do enjoy when singers go out of their way to scream a little bit in a song. So that was the winner for my honorable mention. Erase Me was the one that was very close, though. Also sounded very different than a lot of the other songs. You know what? I'm going to give them both an honorable mention. So there we go. Who's up next? Dan.
All right. Well, I actually am going to echo a lot of what you said. So,
You also like beating dicks. Interesting.
actually, my call it could be Draw a Crowd. I think partially because of like the absurdity of those lyrics. Just, it was the only song I actually had to pause and like rewind and be like, what did he really say? And be sure. But then actually, after I got past the drawing dicks of it, listening to it multiple times, it was one of the few songs out of this entire listen through I like made it a point to go back and re-listen to a couple times because I really enjoyed it. But Erase Me was also another one. So I'm gonna definitely say Draw a Crowd is my number one. Then honorable mentions is Erase Me. Because the lyrics of that and the kind of like the pacing of that song was really impressive. And I appreciate the repetition in there too. And then the other one I'm gonna say is continuing with this Nick Hornby theme, the sound of the life of the mind was also a really enjoyable song. So I think I I think Joe, you were kind of talking about like how good of a lyricist he is. I agree, and now I'm seeing it on two different albums.
All right. And Alexis, you're up next.
Yeah, I'm gonna echo some of that too. I will say I probably don't enjoy beating dicks as much as you guys do, but I do. So honorable mention is Draw a Crowd.
Is that
I really
true?
liked it. You
I
know
bet you've beaten more dicks than we have, though.
I bet I've heard some things. I'm just
what?
saying.
You gotta make sure to put a big giant flag. We're gonna
I'm
have
just
quite a
saying.
conversation we get
I
down this road.
if you have
disagree.
a dick that needs beating, turn to our sponsor, Hims.
Anyway, I really I mean it goes with that song. Come on, guys. It's silly and it's fun and it's lyrically clever and it just flows well, which I like. So I like that song. And then
Oh, it flows well, all right.
it flows. Um Number one would be Do It Anyway for me though. It's like it's honestly one of my favorite Ben Folds songs. Like it gets me pumped. Like you need it sometimes, do it anyway. Like you're not really in control of what happens. You just got to do what you got to do. Like I'm into it. So and again, as Cody said, I even wrote down anywhere where Ben Folds screams in a song,
Hmm,
I'm into it.
love
So,
it.
yep, that's it for mine.
All
Joseph.
right. I will say overall, I mean, I've listened to this album a few times. I am kind of surprised by how strong it is for a reunion album from a band that had its heyday, 20-ish years earlier, broke up, got back together. Like it manages to still feel like relevant and has several really good songs on it. I probably like it more than Reinhold Messner. Sorry, Dave. Um, as far as my picks, though, I guess I'm going to go in reverse order now. For my runner up, I do love beating dicks on walls.
Hmm,
Um, my runner up is Draw a Crowd. Obviously, the lyrics are fun. Both the chorus about if you can't draw a crowd, draw dicks on the wall. I also love the breakdown at the end. I always wanted to be Stevie Wonder, but I'll have to settle for this Vanilla Thunder. Um, Musically, I like it too, though. It is kind of like a funky song. Like I just really enjoy it overall. My number one pick, I kind of hinted that there might be a recurring theme, is the opening track, "Erase Me." I think as a return album from a band that's been away from for a while, I think it kind of announces that this is yet another new direction for them. I love how well it uses all the members of the band. Like it kind of immediately feels different than a Ben Folds solo project. I love all the harmonies and the kind of interplay with the vocals. Musically, I put in my notes, almost reminds me of Danny Elfman in places. It's this big bombastic sound, like just very dramatic. And I think it works really well as an
yeah.
album opener. So I really enjoyed that one.
I could definitely see you took the lyrics out of that. You could fit it to a lot of movies, probably. All right, Dave, tell us why he's wrong.
I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everything you're saying. I appreciate what you appreciate. I'm not trying to be controversial. I really love the song Do It Anyway. I think it's incredible. It's easily my top pick here. I wrote down zero honorable mentions. I don't care for the rest of this album. It's just a personal taste. I was listening to it last night and I thought, yeah, this one isn't really doing it for me, except for Do It Anyway, which I love. So that's just how this one shook out for me.
Okay, that's all right. Fair enough. So we got Draw a Crowd as our top song, just narrowly edging out Do It
Oh,
Anyway.
If I make Do It Anyway, my honorable mention, is that allowed?
Yeah. No, it's not. So, That would be there though. All right. Well, yeah. So pretty small selection on that. So it's definitely a pretty top-heavy album with hits. It sounds like compared to other ones we reached in on that. Okay. And then our last album we're going to cover for this first podcast here with Ben Folds is So There. This is from 2015, and this is with Why Music. Again, a really different kind of album compared to some of the ones we've looked at. Really intrigued to see what people chose on this one. And let's start with Dan. What do you got, Dan?
All right. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's pretty different. Definitely brings in a lot more of the orchestral feel to it. Uh, and the one that stood out for me on this is "I'm Not the Man." That one feels like it's a song I was always waiting for Ben Folds to write. Like it almost feels like a sequel to Brick in some ways in terms of the slow melodic and the kind of confessionary element of it. So the I'm not the man is the or yeah, I'm not the man, jeez. Is the my pick of the song, my song pick from this album. Sorry, I'm having a brain fart.
Any honorables?
Actually on this one, no, that one
No.
stood out and none of the others.
Fair enough. Okay, Alexis, what do you got here?
Yeah, so okay, I've got a couple of first of all, I like the album art on this, I think is cool. I enjoy it. It's neat. So I will say that.
It's better than the robot taking a shit on the
You
last
know, I
album.
kind of like the robot though. I was gonna say that
Yeah.
too. I like it. But anyway, so honorable mentions, I would say first of all, not a fan. Because it goes back to like bitter, grumpy Ben Folds, which I really enjoy. I love at the end that you can say fuck you and you can hear him saying fuck you and your friends. Like I just think he's just like quietly like seething. So I like that. And then also Phone in a Pool is an honorable mention. It's just, you know, I've wanted to throw my phone in a pool when everybody pissed me off. So I can relate to that as well. Um, yeah, that's all I'll say about that. But then number one for me would be capable of anything. The number one track on the album. It's as soon as you hear it, you kind of I or at least I just want to like tap my foot and sing along. And some of the lyrics are pretty amazing. I can't think of Joe will probably jump in with gosh darn it. Or you could just forgive me, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's great. It's a good one. Check it out. Do recommend. Capable of anything. That's it for me.
All right, I'm up next. I know I made my statement
Are
about.
are you up next?
Okay, Joe's up next, but if you
I'm
Oh, I'm
up
want,
sorry. I'm
next,
so sorry.
Dave.
I'm
all
so
right.
sorry,
You
Joe. Go
shut
ahead.
your whore mouth. You keep "so there" out of your mouth. So, I love this album with the caveat, which might be where Dave jumps in, but um, I I feel like a bad Ben Folds fan. I don't care about the concertos for piano and orchestra that comprise the last like half of this album. Like, good for him for trying something different, but like I'm not going to sit there and listen to that. I'm sorry. But I think the songs that have lyrics prior to that, by and large, there are several great tracks on this album. So I quite enjoy it overall. I actually have a couple honorable mentions for this one. My first honorable mention is actually Ben Folds' cover of the rap song Pussy on Swole. Um,
I don't think that's on this one.
no, this
No,
is from
no.
that era, though.
I know, but it's not on this
Around the time he was recording this album, Ben Folds made many appearances on a sitcom called You're the Worst, which is genuinely, I think, maybe my favorite television show that has ever aired.
Wow.
So
I
shout out to
don't.
that if you have not seen it. Like,
Well,
highly,
yeah,
highly recommend.
yeah. Whoa, what?
Um,
Can't just drop that as a one-liner in a music podcast.
I mean, it's Ben Folds is on it. He's on like 4 or 5 episodes, I
And
think.
he's brilliant. He's quite
And
good.
he's great. He plays Ben Folds, but like a weird alcoholic version of Ben Folds.
Yeah, but he was also in 5 seasons of Lost, playing the leader of
Really?
the others.
Shots
Anyway.
fired.
Was that him? Oh.
My
I thought
my
so.
my second honorable mention is Kesha. Dave probably gets it.
Sorry, I don't.
You haven't heard this story 5,000 times?
No, sorry.
Okay, so it's actually the song Phone in a Pool, but when Ben Folds plays that song live, he likes to tell the story of the fact that he actually was all frustrated and threw his phone into a hotel pool one night in Los Angeles, and a figure emerged from like the bushes off to his side and dove
Wearing a
into the
hoodie.
wearing a hoodie and dove into the pool fully clothed and fished his phone out of said pool. And that person was his friend Kesha.
What?
I
Makes
can't believe
Literally
you've
told
not
that
heard
like
that
every time
5,000
we've seen him.
times. But Phone in a Pool is a good song. I quite enjoy it. But it is not my top pick. Where are my notes for this album? My top honorable mention is Capable of Anything. Another great album opener. I love the lyrics. I believe Alexis was referring to the line, I'm sure they meant you could be president or you could just forgive me. I just love the weird, like, kind of earnestness of that. Like, yeah, I'm sure they meant you could do something great, but also you could just stop being mad at me. Ben Folds also kind of tells a story about writing that song, and it's, thinking about like, we tell everyone, like, from the time you're a kid in this country, you can grow up to be anything, like, you're really capable of anything. And he was thinking about that, and he was like, yeah, but like, I'm really capable of anything. Like, you could do some shitty things. And I like that this song kind of plays with that idea. Um, my top pick off this album is the title track, So There. I love I love a kind of earnest, sad Ben Folds song, and I feel like this is that. But I also love the kind of pettiness of the repeated, like, I cannot forget you, there's nothing to forget, so there. Like, it's this kind of beautiful song, but there's this kind of just like pettiness to the lyrics that I love. So that is my top pick.
I'll start by saying that Ben Folds also cameoed in an episode of Community about the ass crack bandit. And so, yes, I agree. He makes
He
excellent.
also wrote an incredible song about the S Crack Bandit.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. I also want to say that I am currently wearing what is literally my favorite shirt. It has more to do for comfort reasons than uh, content, but it's Ben Folds. It's So
Ooh.
There. It's got the track list right there. So I do like So There. I like it quite a bit. And actually, the more we talk about it, the more I think I like it because you guys are saying songs. I'm like, oh, yeah, I do like that one a lot. When I first heard this album, my favorite one was Long Way to Go. I just thought it was really beautiful and um, just felt appropriate to what I was feeling at that time. And then I heard F10DA, and that's just a beautiful song too, with a D, with a D. I think that song's so clever.
Yeah.
I laugh at that song every time.
With a big fat D.
Big fat D. I do really like Capable of Anything for a lot of the reasons you guys said. And then it took a while, but eventually I fell in love with I'm Not the Man. I that's my favorite on this album, and it's one of I think three Ben Folds songs that just will probably make me cry every single time I listen to it. Um, Especially the line, I used to be endless potential. Like that hits me hard every single time I hear that particular bridge and especially that line. I love I'm Not the Man. It's phenomenal.
It's very good.
But look at all your potentials being fulfilled. You're video calling us from a hotel in Seattle.
True.
Finding a job I don't want to switch to. Yay.
Oh boy.
No.
All right.
You're still the man though, Dave. You're still the
Thanks,
man.
buddy.
Still
I'm
the man
capable of
today, Dave.
anything. You know what? You guys are right. We're gonna get
You got
FNDA
this.
tonight,
Aw.
and
Yeah.
everything will
Beat
be
some
okay.
dicks.
Draw some dicks on the wall. I lost my glasses in a hotel pool one time in Toronto, but
Oh,
not
Oh,
not a
was
phone.
Kesha there to fish them out for
Kesha
you?
fished
I
them
don't know
out.
if she
No,
was.
I think they actually had to get staff to get them one of those big scoopy pool
Oh.
things. Because it was I don't remember, 9 or 11 feet. It was pretty deep for a pool at a hotel. I don't know if they do that anymore. But anyway, wrapping up here with me on this one. Well, I guess nobody's gonna pick my songs because my honorable mention is Concerto for Piano and Orchestra. Movement 2 is my
Favorite.
honorable mention here. I particularly love whatever instrument this is, and I did go down far enough to actually watch the YouTube video performance of this. And I'm just not a music person, okay? So I don't know if this is oboes making this noise or flutes or what this is, but there's that really light, airy kind of almost fluttery sound to it, which I really enjoy. And this song doesn't make me cry, but if you listen to just how the orchestra plays, it sounds as though the song is actually crying to you, which I really enjoy about this song. There's a couple parts where they do that, and it just sounds so sad. And the piano is very sparse in this song, but when he plays it, it actually seems like it has that much more meaning because he's playing less than he normally does. And this also, I said, kind of reminds me of the movie Up soundtrack, which, if you're familiar with that, good luck watching that and not crying because that's what this reminded me of quite a bit. And then my winning song for this album is, you guessed it, Concerto for Piano and Orchestra Movement number 3 is my winner on this one. To which I shall just read my notes verbatim. This song is 50% Charlie Chaplin's Modern Times, mixed with 10% Scott Joplin's Ragtime, 10% the LA Noir soundtrack, and 30% the Looney Tunes soundtrack. And I love all of those things, and they're all featured in this song, and I love this song because of it. So that's my top pick.
That's genuinely my favorite of the three, so I agree with you there.
You
Love
know
it.
there are songs with words on this album, right?
Yeah, not none that I loved though, sadly.
Oh,
But they didn't
So
speak to him.
that's true. They didn't speak
hey.
to me. They didn't speak to me. All right. Well, wrapping this one up, we got a tie again with I'm Not the Man and Capable of Anything. So good job, people with bad opinions. You ruled the day on this one as well. And that's also going to draw us to the end of our collaboration episode here with Ben Folds 5. Any finishing thoughts here? While you gather those, I'll recap our winners. Starting in 1995, Ben Folds 5, we had The Last Polka as our song pick. In Whatever and Ever Amen, we have a tie between Smoke and Brick. Reinhold Messner, we have Narcolepsy with a huge lead there. And then Lonely Avenue, we have Levi's Johnson's Blues and Picture Window, Sound of the Life and the Mind. We have Draw a Crowd as our winner. And then lastly here from So There, I'm Not the Man and Capable of Anything. Any concluding thoughts from peeps here on our first episode with Ben Folds?
As long as we're talking collaborations, I have
Yeah.
a couple of other albums that we're not going to talk about, but that just want to mention. Dan mentioned the University a cappella, which would definitely be, somewhat of a collaboration. I think there's lots of really good ones on there, especially Not the Same and Still Fighting It are my favorites. But I think maybe my favorite collaboration Ben has ever done is the William Shatner 2004 album,
Mm,
Has Been.
yes.
It's so much better than it should be, especially Common People. There's a cover of Common People they do that is I have a Spotify track called or playlist called Let's Fucking Go of songs that hype me up, and Common People is track one on that playlist because it is a jam. And then there's also a song called That's Me Trying on there, which was Nick Hornby wrote the lyrics, and it's William Shatner with Ben and Amy Mann. So the four of them are all working together on this track about an estranged father who's a real piece of shit, trying to reconnect with his daughter and doing a terrible job of it. It's a beautiful song on a great album. So if you're into Ben Folds collaborations and haven't heard Has Been, check that out.
Hmm. Anyone else?
I like Ben Folds.
yes.
Okay. Nothing from Dan. All right, well, this is going to wrap us up here. Again, our first episode we're going to have. Next week, we're going to come back with Ben Folds' solo albums. And we're greatly looking forward to the debate over Rockin' the Suburbs. Very excited to hear the battle royale that'll take place there, as well as I'm sure some stories people are going to share about live experiences with Ben Folds as well. Spoiler of which I have none. So there's that. But all right, this has been first episode here of Ben Folds, and this has been the Fawn Pod. Friends occasionally not disagreeing. I'm Cody. That's Alexis and Joe and Dan and Dave, and we will see you all next week. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.